Hi guys, and welcome back to Momma Jess Knits. Today is December the 19th. I am 2 days behind on my podcast. I will explain why in just a minute. I just got back from dropping 3 of my children off for their last day of school, a half day. I should be working, but I took today off. Bear has his second vet visit today, and I unfortunately scheduled it at 9:30 in the morning and didn't realize that I was still going to be doing my long-term sub job. Sorry, there's a notification that popped up on my screen. Anyway, I didn't realize I was going to be doing my long-term sub job still, and they've actually asked me to continue on through at least the end of January, possibly longer. So I will continue to be busy through the month of January. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram as Momma Jess Knits, on Ravelry as JStrack. I also have a Ravelry group. If you go to the group section on Ravelry and go to the search bar, you can type in Momma Jess Knits podcast and it should pull me right up. I also have a Facebook group, Momma Jess Knits, or you can email me at mommajessknits, all one word together, at gmail.com. Well, so I am 2 days behind on doing my podcast. It's been a little bit crazy. You know, we've had, last Friday we had a snow day, which was really an ice day. We had some ice that morning and then it turned into rain. It thankfully, went away by like afternoon, but so we got an unexpected day off, which I'm not going to complain about. Got lots of knitting done. One of my daughters had a band concert last week. One of my daughters had a chorus concert this week. This Sunday. We've had so much stuff going on at school, different things like dress-up days and talent show and parties and all kinds of stuff. So I have been pretty busy. I'm going to insert a video because I actually only have one finished object this week. And I'm going to go ahead and show that now. It is just a dishcloth. And this is Grandma's Favorite and by PJ Allen. And yes, I only have one finished object to show. However, I am not kidding, and I will try to insert a picture when I say that I was knitting washcloths 3 at a time this past weekend, trying to get them done because I put them in, like my kids' teacher gift bags that we put together. Coworkers I work with, on a daily basis, I put those in their gift bags. Had to put an IOU in one of them, and so I will deliver that today when I pick up my kids from school. So that is actually the only, well, technically, yeah, I guess that is the only knitted finished object I have. I do have my Cape Elizabeth. I finished that on my last podcast. Maybe even the podcast before that, but for sure the last podcast. And I put up a video. It's not a very long video. I think it's like maybe a minute or two on what it looks like to block something. And that is actually the second time I had blocked my Cape Elizabeth. It wasn't as wide as I wanted it the first time, so I tried to do it again, and I'm not so sure that it helped. But I emailed the person that it's going to and asked her if she wanted me to sew it up or keep it as a wrap because it's going to her either her grandmother or her husband's grandmother for Christmas. And we decided not to sew it up. That way she can wear it as like a wrap or a stole. So here it is. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm just going to show it to you folded in half because it is really long. So this is it folded in half. And the beautiful lace at the bottom. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm super happy with it. I'm delivering it tomorrow, so I've got to get it. I told her that I would put it in like a, excuse me, a gift bag and get it to her. So that those are my two finished objects. I have done absolutely no sewing. I've really just been trying to get those dishcloths done. I've been working on, well, I'll show you what I've been working on. We'll move along to works in progress. And guys, this video is probably going to be really short, just because I don't have all 11 dishcloths that I made to show you guys. I will try to insert pictures if I can get that to work. If not, yeah, 11. I made 11. This red one is my 12th. Or actually, no, I made 10. I borrowed one from one daughter who had made one. And then I made that one last night. Anyway, moving along to whips. I do still owe one person a washcloth. It's actually the person I work with in my room. So this is going to be her washcloth. I am almost close to the decreases. And I'm just using Peaches and Cream. And this one's actually scented. I didn't realize it until I started knitting. And I was like, ooh, something smells good. And I held it up to my face and then realized it's the scented one. I don't remember what color in the ball band's in the living room. But the pattern is the Grandma's Favorite by PJ Allen. I really like this. I've taught my daughters, some of them, how to do the pattern. I've got one that is doing, because there's two different versions. You can either do the one with holes, which is the one I have been doing. But one of my daughters doesn't want to do the holes, so she's been doing without. And I think last night sitting on the couch, she finished one that she had been working on, started another, and I would think she was getting ready to bind that one off whenever I went to bed last night. She's just whipping them out. Super speedy. They're fairly easy to do. You just kind of have to keep track of how many stitches you have, just so you know when to decrease and that kind of thing. But I also taught a coworker yesterday how to knit. I got her started on a children's scarf to kind of practice on, and so she's doing pretty good so far. All right, so I have that. I have the Forever working on. It will be done today, tomorrow morning at the latest, because I have to deliver it tomorrow. Kalenna scarf. I am not going to unroll this, but this is how I've got it rolled up, and that is how wide it is right now. And this is all that I have left of that ball of, or this is the second skein of yarn actually. So that's the Kalenna by Jen Emerson is the pattern, and it is a gorgeous pattern. I've made this a lot. I make a lot of my cowls out of this. I've got a hat. She's got a hat pattern, and I've got that on the needles, and another cowl that I've had on the needles for probably about a year now. But it's really easy. It's so easy to memorize the pattern. And it just makes, like, the most, like, just squishy, like, that's just so squishy. Scarves and cowls, and so warm. But anyway, the yarn that I'm using is the Karen Simply Soft, and I honestly do not remember the name of that. I said it on my last podcast, but I can't remember the name now, and I'm sorry, guys. I've been so busy, and I tucked the ball band off and rolled it into a ball, and I just have all that sitting in there in the living room next to my chair on my table. And I just realized that I said I was going to show you guys my yarn bowl that my uncle made me. And it's still sitting in there beside my chair. So I will try to show it next week, which will actually be perfect because I'm hoping to be able to do my podcast on time next week. So it'll be kind of like a Christmas special. Hopefully I will have a lot of these projects done. I know the scarf will not be on the next podcast. I'm giving that one away tomorrow. All right, moving along. So I started a pair of socks for my 14-year-old Natalie. I realized I have not made her any socks since March. So I was like, oh, I really owe her a pair of socks next. And actually, she's the one who I taught how to knit socks because she got tired of waiting on her rotation through the family to get her next pair of socks. So she wants to knit herself some socks. So she's moving along. She's on the leg of the sock. But anyway, so these are the start of her Christmas socks. That cord. Anyway, but that's the only free needle I had, so I had to use it. I have 10 more rows of the leg to do. I might do actually 20 to make the leg a little bit longer. I've noticed that the legs aren't very long, and some of my kids have said that they really like a long leg, so I think I usually do, what do I usually do? I usually do about 40 rows for the leg, but I think I'm going to start doing like 50 or 60, because with my son's, I did, like, his cuff was 15 rows, and then I did 40, so I ended up doing 55 for his leg, and he likes it, so I think I might do 60 and see how that turns out. And her socks are going to be one of the ones that has a solid red, which is the Knit Picks Stroll and the Hollyberry. There we go. So she's going to have a solid red, and then she'll have, the other one will be a solid green in the Everglade Heather in the Knit Pick Stroll. Her and my daughter Addison have both decided that that's how they want their socks to be. So they'll have one red, one green when I get done. So hopefully by the next time I show this, hopefully I'll be a good ways done. I think it's going to be one of those things where I wrap the yarn or something and say, hey, yep, you got some socks coming. Because with Christmas being next week, 6 days away. 6 days away. I'm not going to have them done. Oh, and that was in my Ginger Snap, that Game of Thrones bag. And, uh-oh. Hold on just a second, guys. I'm sorry. Here. No. Oh, sorry. I have Bear in here roaming around, and he knocked over something, so I needed to get that picked up. Anyway, next item is in my Ginger Snap That bag. One of the cute little hedgehogs. And it is my husband's sock, his Christmas sock. I'm gonna have this done by Christmas. It is my goal. As soon as I get that scarf done and delivered, this is what I'm working on all weekend. I'm gonna get this done. I am on what we call the gusset, which I'm doing. My gusset decreases right here. It just takes the wide part from oh geez, I don't even know how many stitches, down to a total of 60 stitches, and then I'll start the foot. It's just the part that's through, your ankle and stuff right there. So yeah, I think I got a good bit done since the last time I showed these, because I think the last time I showed it, I may have been on the heel or just starting the heel. So yeah, I have about 18 rows to go, and then I'll be on the foot part of the sock. And that is in, sorry, I'm trying to get everything rearranged here. That is in my super sock in the color 1922. And a lady at Knitting on Monday, she was knitting some socks. She was using the online super sock also, but it was a different kind, I think. And I snapped a picture of it because I just love the colors in it. It was purples, and it was, it does this self-patterning. Patterning? Is that a word? I don't know. Anyway, she was doing it, and so I snapped a picture of it because I thought it was so pretty. I was like, ooh, I need some of that yarn. I need yarn. I need yarn like I need a hole in the head. But I decided, actually I'll talk about that in a second. So I'm all done talking about my works in progress. Those are the only 3 things that I am truly working on. Those are the only things or 4 things that I have actually picked up and worked on, in the last 2 days. I still have my daughter's sweater that I need to finish the sleeve on. I might be able to get that done by Christmas, but probably not. But I do want to get that done and give that to her, because I think she'll really enjoy that this winter. Okay, so I decided the other day that I wanted to do something, and that something is I want to make hats and scarves. And I want to put them around town. We have a walkway here in town, and there's a shelter that's got some picnic tables and things. And I have actually seen a couple of homeless people sleeping on those tables. And I've seen several homeless people along that walk. So what I want to do is I want to start making scarves and hats, and I want to, especially on that shelter, tie them to the post, maybe pin the hat to the scarf, and with a note saying that I am not lost. If you are cold and in need, I am yours. Please take me and keep, I'll help you keep warm. I want to do that in a couple of places. A couple of churches, including our church, has what we call a blessings box. And I want to put a couple of hats and maybe some scarves in those. We have a couple of homeless shelters here, and then we also have some in the next town over. And I want to drop some hats and gloves off there. I've thought about making and donating some hats and gloves to one of the schools that's a little less fortunate than some of the other schools that we have here in town. And there are some kids at our school that could use hats and gloves. I see them out on the playground, and they don't have on winter coats. They don't have hats. They don't have scarves. They don't have gloves. And we've gone out on some pretty cold days. But I want to get those made up. So I posted a post on my personal Facebook page, letting people know that once I get these 4 projects done that I have started, that I want to start working on hats and scarves. And I do have a bin of yarn that I could use for those projects. So I have posted on my personal Facebook page, letting friends know that if they feel the need to donate yarn or money to buy yarn or even their knitting services for my knitting friends, if they would like to, do any of those things to help help me along with knitting these items for these people. And the other day, we one of the groups I go to, we had a large donation of yarn come in. So I was told about this donation, so I brought a bag with me that day, and I did fill it up with some yarn, and I do plan on starting those scarves and stuff. I mean, they're not going to be like super duper detailed cabled scarves or anything like that. It's just going to be basic scarves, but it's going to help somebody stay warm. It'll be basic hat beanies, that kind of thing, but like I said, it will help someone stay warm. I'm planning on checking with one of the local shelters and to see if I can get numbers of like how many residents we have there. I do know in the past they have given out those numbers. That way I just know like how many children's hats to make, how many baby hats to make, how many adult hats to make. And I mean, I will just make a plethora of different colors. I just feel I feel the need to do that. So that's what I'm going to be working on in the future. I do have a test knit that I have to do. I still have not picked out yarn for that. I will pick out yarn for that hopefully this weekend. I'm just trying to get things settled. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll be dropping off actually I'm going to be dropping off 4 items, but I'll be dropping those off, and then I'm free to knit whatever I want to knit. Other than the test knit, I don't have any deadlines on anything. I do want to get my husband's socks done by Christmas, just because I gave him a pair last year, and I gave him a pair 5 years ago. So the poor man only has 2 pairs of socks, and I have a box of them, and I did not meet my goal on my box of socks. I wanted 12 pairs, and I did not have 12 pairs. Mostly just because I sold some of my socks that I had made, and I think I sold 3 or 4 pairs. And if I had kept those 3 or 4 pairs, then I would only be like, I think 2 pairs away from having my box of socks complete. But you know what? I can do my box of socks again next year. I can start it in January, and hopefully I can do at least a pair a month for myself. I would like to do my children's Christmas socks. I'm going to make one of my children, she turns 16 next month, my daughter Kaylin. And I think I'm going to make her a pair of socks for her birthday. To go with her other gifts and stuff. And I would like to finish my, I think it's called the Irish cable scarf. I can't remember. I showed it in last week's podcast. The blue cabled, it has 3 cables running down it, scarf. I would like to pull that out and kind of finish that for myself so I could have it this winter. But if I do, I do. And if I don't, I don't. Like I said, I don't have a deadline on anything, but the stuff I have to deliver tomorrow. And I just have the scarf to work on. I'll get it done. I have today off. Tomorrow starts the official winter break for all of my kids and myself. So I've got some knitting time. I have knitting group tonight, so I will definitely get that scarf done today and packaged and ready to go. And then I am free to work on whatever I want, and I'm super excited about that. I have done no purchasing of yarn. I figured I would hold off until after Christmas, see if I got any yarn for Christmas. I don't have any, like I said, I don't have any projects in mind that I want to put on my needles other than the hats and scarves that I want to make for the homeless and those in need. And, of course, the test knit. And I'm super excited to start the test knit. I can't wait to show you guys. I'm glad Alicia said that I could share my progress with you all. But anyway, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. And hopefully I will get my next podcast filmed on time next Tuesday. If not, or if you are just busy and you can't watch it next week, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. And I will catch you guys again in about less than a week. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye. Have a wonderful day.